What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ASAP Automotive channel, and today we're back at it working on my baby Roxanne, doing some more upgrades like we were talking about the other day. And today we're going to be getting rid of this puny little rear sway bar and going to something a little bit beefier. So stay tuned. One of the first things you want to do when you're doing this is you want to get the car up off the ground in the back end. Make sure if you're using jack stands or anything like that, and jackie points, you're using your pucks there, like you do on any C5 and up Corvette. And then you can jack up back here underneath the cradle across. If you're using like a 2x4 or something, somewhere across here, or if you have the luxury of a lift or friends with a lift, that's always awesome too. We're obviously using our lift here in the shop today. So what we're doing is we're upgrading the rear sway bar, and like we talked in the other video on the front sway bar is it's all about balance. So, and that being said, you go put a big old honking sway bar in the front, and you still got the chintzy one in the back, the car is not going to really be very predictable. It's going to do a lot of stuff you don't really want it to do. It's going to feel real funny. It's not going to be balanced. That's what suspension and a lot of any systems in the car, that's what it's all about. You got to have some kind of end goal of what you're wanting to do, and that's what I'm trying to do, is balance out. So the car has got a little over 60,000 miles on it. I bought it with barely 30 something, almost 40,000 on it. It's 17 years old. The shocks are getting long in the tooth, and I was wanting to upgrade them anyways, and I wanted to go, do some sway bar upgrades. So I did the C6 ZR1 sway bar in the front, which put it about where I wanted to be. I didn't want to go too aggressive. We're doing the shocks all around in some later videos. Right now we're doing a bigger rear sway bar, and the rear is a little bit funny because I'm fixing one problem, but I'm probably going to create myself another in the process. And I'm okay with that because I'm willing to give a little bit of take. What I'm saying here is like we talked about in the first video, it's all about the diameter of the bar. The bigger the diameter, the more force it can exert to straighten it, because it's a spring type metal, just like your coil springs in your car. You'll twist on it when you're going in a turn. It'll push and pull on opposite sides, and it wants to go back to its memory position. That's the whole idea of a sway bar when you're going into a turn. So you got a car without a sway bar on it, you go and it's like, whoa, you look like a bunch of Muppets, and you're about to fall out of it or something. Anyways, so the stock one is okay, especially in a C5, in the Z06 application. The stock C5 one is really stupid small. I think it's somewhere around like 19 millimeters or something. It's really, I think this one's like 23 or 21 or something. I forget. But there's a ton of places online where you can look up, and somebody's got posted the spec sheets and stuff. And it's all the different sway bars. So I got a problem with wheel hop. I've also got a problem with drivetrain vibration, which is notorious in these. When they went to the C6, they completely redesigned the rear diff back there. It's got a much better pad. It took care of a lot of it. So, and that's another video. I've got plans for taking care of that issue. Right now, I'm after my wheel hop. When you go to get on it, independent rear suspension, it likes to just sit there and smack both wheels back and forth. And eventually, you're going to break something doing that. That much of violent harmonics is eventually going to break something. I'm trying to put that to bed. So I went from a stock C5 Z06 sway bar, and I'm going to a C6 Z06 sway bar in the rear. And if I remember correctly, the C6 Z06 and the C6 Z51 front sway bars are the same diameter, but the rear is bigger. So for most driving applications, street driving, and going out to the drag strip or something like that, I'm going to keep this C6 Z06 sway bar back here. The one where, well, to be honest, it's already on the car because, like I said in the other video, I got bored one Sunday, decided I wanted to put this stuff on the car that I've had for a year and go drive it, because that's what car guys do, and gals. So anyways, we're going to be showing you how to change it out, though, even though I've put it on there. It'll show you how easy and how quick it is. So that's going to put my wheel hop issue to bed. you know, and I know it will because it has. I still got my drivetrain shake, so, you know, like I said, we're gonna handle that. The problem is it's a little too much sway bar, even with those C6 Z06 shocks. When I get out on a road course, I'm probably gonna have some issues with lifting a rear tire in really hard turning, and I'm okay with that. I've done my research. I know from past people talking about it, yeah, it's probably, you know, an issue you're gonna have. But I don't want to give up the shocks that I'm putting on here. I like them because of the ride. It's all the balance that I want. I don't want to go to coilovers or anything crazy like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up buying me a C6 Z51 rear sway bar to swap out if I want to go to like a road course for a day or weekend or something like that. If I want to go down to like Road Atlanta or whatever, if it ever opens back up again with all this fun stuff going on. Anyways, so I'll have an extra one to swap out. It's stupid easy to do in these things. Doesn't take me 15 minutes. It's worth the hassle. But for most everyday applications, I'm running the Z06 one from the C6. So what we're gonna do is, you don't have to take the wheels off. We're doing some other stuff today on this thing, filming some other stuff anyways. So I'm taking the wheels off. It does make it a hell of a lot easier having the wheels out of the way though. So same thing as the front. So you got 19mm lug nuts. Just run those off. Make sure, you know, the car's, you know, safely jacked up, yada yada. That's why we got the disclaimer, you know, you're on your own on that one. You can't fix stupid. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get the wheels off on this one. I've already got this one loose. And we're gonna go ahead and work on getting rid or swapping out the rear sway bar. Okay, so you'll notice here a lot of, if you watched our first video on the front sway bar, you notice a lot of similarities. I mean, it's a sway bar. It's a spring metal that connects at 2 points on the frame or, you know, cradle here, and then it comes out and connects to each A arm via these what they call sway bar or stabilizer end links. And, you know, they got the, you know, the ball and socket type joints just like your hip. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to the same thing. You've got an 18mm here and the 6mm hex. We're going to go ahead and take these loose. And, you know, instead of doing it on the A-arm, I mean, you can do it there if you're changing out your links or whatever. I'm not doing that just yet on mine because mine are fine. I'm still deciding on which ones I want to go with. So for today's purposes of, you know, changing out this rear sway bar, we're just going to take them off of the sway bar unlike we did on the front. And so, you, like I said, 18 there, 6mm hex. Then you got 18mm nut and bolt here on both sides. And we'll take these loose, and then the sway bar drops out. Simply, we'll bolt the other one back in, and it's really that simple. So let's get at it. All right, so this bottom one here is actually the bolt for the rear of the lower control arm here. So what you want to do is you got a 15mm on the head of the bolt right there, and go ahead and get on that to hold it steady. It's not a camming bolt. So if you notice here, this bolt is like what I call a camming bolt or whatever. It's got a cam washer on it. It's offset. So when you go to get your car aligned, they take that loose and they rotate that bolt, and it pivots around and it'll move that in and out to get it in alignment. So you ever see something like that, you don't want to go messing around and moving that around because you end up throwing out of alignment and then your tires start wearing funny. And but this one back here is a fixed point. There's no adjustment here, so you're fine. I mean, if it was, simply what you would do, a good trick is you can take you some Sharpie or something like that and mark around to where it is so you can watch it and put it right back in the same spot. You know, but fortunately we don't have to deal with that. But to quickly explain what that is and what you want to look out for. So that being said, just go ahead and get on here with your 18 and then your 15 over there. Go ahead and take this loose. This is just a bolt that goes into the cradle. We'll zip that out, no problem. And then we can go ahead and get the sway bar on off. Okay, so quick little note too is you don't want to remove that bolt either. You want to just leave it in there and then slide it off. You go removing that, suspension is going to come apart. It's going to be a bear trying to get that thing lined back up. So now that we've got our two upper bolts out, our two nuts off, we got our nuts off here on the sway bar end links. We can go ahead and slide those out of the way and slide our sway bar off. And that's simply it. And just like we did in the video with the front one, same thing. You want to check, make sure they gave you the right bushings and all that. You know, they fit on there. These brackets just come right off. The bushings just fit around there just like that on both sides. This one's got the collars in the rear to keep it from sliding back and forth. And it's really that simple. That's why I was saying I don't mind having to change out the rear, because it is really simple on this one. It's just, to me, it's a lot easier, even easier than the front. Because if I go out to the track, I can just jack the car up real quick, zip that one on and off, and, you know, go do what I got to do. So anyways, now that we get that one off, like I said before on the front one, it's a perfect time if you want to go ahead and change your sway bar end links. Mine are still fine at the moment. These things are notorious for going out though. I just haven't decided what I wanted to go with. I mean, there's a million different options out there. It's whatever you want to do. You can get adjustable ones and all kind of different stuff. But what I'm doing with the car, I don't know if I really want to go that crazy. It might be nice to have the tunability. I'm just not a real fan of the Heim joint ones because they're exposed to the elements. They get much crap in them. They get crap in them that much easier, and they can get noisy. And I don't like a noisy suspension. So I might just look for a beefier aftermarket one or something like that of the same style. Anyways, that being said, now we got it off, just change over your, or put your new bushings on, change over your metal brackets. Now they'll probably be a bit snug, especially with these bigger bar. You might have to kind of tap them down with the rubber mallet. Like I said, if we just pulled this one off, so I don't really want to pull them off if I don't have to. And just like that, it goes back up. You can go ahead and start one of your links if you want or something. And then just slide it on. And like I said, everything's always easier with the buddy, but this one isn't terrible. That bar is so light. Like I said, we're putting this one right back on because this is the new one. Give you guys a bit of a comparison here. That's the difference in the bars for the rear. So quite a bit of difference. Like I said, I can't remember. I think this one's like a 21. I think the stock C5 is like a 19 or 17, something really small. And this one I think was like a 26 or something like that. I'd be honest, I can't remember off the top of my head, but this one is a C6 Z06. Like I said, I'll also be buying later on a C6 Z51, which was an in-between a base and a Z06, to put on here if I want to go out to like road course the car to where it's not too tight and trying to lift the tire. To be honest, I'm just going to go out the first time and just see what it does. If it does it, then hey, I'll buy it. If not, then hey, I'm not even going to have to. But from what I've seen in forums and people that have been there and done that, I like to learn from other people's mistakes. That's what they said. It's great, normal, but when you go put it in some real hard turns, out on road coursing, it can kind of, try to want to lift the tire. But my main focus right now is keeping the stupid wheel hop at bay because that's when you break stuff. So we're going to go ahead and tighten it down just like the front. Just make sure they're tight. Remember you're dealing with aluminum here, so you don't have to get stupid, but you do want it tight. You don't want it back and loose on you. And then the same thing here, just take your 18 millimeter wrench and your 6 millimeter Allen and go ahead and tighten these down just snug because those are actual lock nuts, so they're fine there. So we're gonna go ahead and zip this back down and go from there. All right, so went through and got everything tight. Like I said, kind of make one pass, snuggle it down, and then go back over and let it seat down, especially if you got new bushings. It's going to be it's going to fight you a little bit, but make sure you're good and seated. So we got everything tight on both sides, and we're good to go. I mean, it really, guys, that's it. I mean, there's really not a whole hell of a lot to it here. Really easy to get to. You don't have to pull anything else out of the way. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. We love making these things for you. Like I said, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. Share the crap out of us on Facebook or wherever. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get monetized. And really, it's not like we're not, like I said, we don't make any money now, but we're not trying to get rich with this thing. It's just any money that we get, we're going to put back into the channel to do more and more content, more better content, get better equipment, all that. We can do more projects to give you some more, give you guys some more of the fun stuff. and so we can actually afford to do it. But yeah, tell your friends, your family, your dog, all that fun stuff. And don't forget to check out our sister channel, MacGyver's Workshop. And you want to talk about some crazy stuff over there. And he's able to post a lot more regular than we are right now. Just our schedules are crazy. The shop's blowing up. We're so thankful. We're so blessed. We just can't keep up with the channel, barely keep up with the shop. Good help's hard to find. Don't forget to go check out my dad's channel though, MacGyver's Workshop. Like I said, dude's always doing all kind of cool stuff over there. Right now he's doing like a full-blown restoration on this F1, 80 something F-150. Dude's like totally modifying the 6-cylinder in it. I mean, who the hell does that? He's put like Chevrolet small block valves in it, aftermarket cam, 4-barrel quadrajet on it. I mean, just some crazy stuff. Like he had to modify, he like totally modified the valve cover the other day and had to make it taller because nobody makes a taller valve cover. But that's what you get at MacGyver's Workshop. He does a lot of cool stuff and does it right, and stuff. And it's just, you never know what he's gonna be working on over there. So don't forget to give them some love too, the like, subscribe, and a share. But remember, until next time, guys, stock is not an option.